Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today is a brand new video, something different today. It's a card video, but it's not Pokemon. No. Today we are going to be looking at WWE cards. So as a child, I was really into WWE back in 2006 to 2010. And nowadays it's kind of crazy how much card collecting has just shot up. Instead of I don't want to pay £1,000 just to open some WWE cards. So I just thought, it'll be quite nice to have a little bit of a nostalgic trip back through some old binders, wrestlers of past, and yeah, just have a look at the kind of cards we were collecting back when I was a child and in my WWE fan era. Still a bit of a WWE fan today, not nearly as I was back then. I'll probably go for some stories at some point. Maybe we'll do a wrestling retrospective video of why I loved the WWE and wrestling when I was a child. But today we're going to sit back, relax, flick through some old, I guess vintage I suppose you could call them now, wrestling cards, and yeah, just really feel that nostalgia. So sit back, relax and enjoy these cards. Yeah, we're going to start with our WWE Payback trading card binder. I do remember getting these Topps cards from the newsagents a long time ago. So they're all alphabetized. Yeah, they're all basically in alphabetical order. So from Ashley to Bobby Lashley. So these look like the SmackDown cards, but they are, like I say, they are alphabetized. So these are what the cards look like. So we go row by row. Basically just a studio photo of the wrestler themselves. It's nostalgic going back for these cards. Funaki, Gregory Helms, some really old cards, cruiserweights, and these are what the backs would look like. So there actually was a game part to this as well. A little bit like rock, paper, scissors, includes some stats as well. You've got some facts about the wrestler as well. So if we go to Batista, tells you his height, his weight, etc., etc. Obviously his signature move, finishes. Now I remembered all the signature moves and finishes as a child, obviously watching the shows. I can remember watching SmackDown on Sky One. It would start at I think it started at midnight or something like that, and it would run till 2 o'clock in the morning, or start at 11 till 1, like the 2 hour show. And that's how I'd watch Friday Night SmackDown live. And that was the only one I could really watch because obviously that rolled into a Saturday, which is a weekend, whereas Raw, sadly, it was a school night. There was no way I was staying up past, way past 10 to watch a wrestling show. But Friday nights, I have this nostalgia for Friday Night SmackDown, being able to watch it early in the morning. Mr. Kennedy, or Ken Kennedy, I should say. But yeah, so here's some of the cards. You've got King Booker after winning King of the Ring. He was Booker T. Matt Hardy, actually met him at W.H. Smith's once. He did a signing in Nottingham with Beth Phoenix. She was really lovely as well. She was really, really nice. So one of the only wrestlers I've actually seen and get to meet in real life, which is cool. JBL. So like I say, these are the backs of the cards. It kind of goes on I never learned the game, to be honest with you. I'm more of a collector than a card player. So like I say, these have a bit like a rock, paper, scissors mechanic. Body slam, shoulder block. And it just tells you which beats which and that kind of thing. That's interesting. Okay, and there's like body blow cards as well in this set. I'll show you them a little later. You actually had to use a coin to scratch them off. But yeah, I don't know if this is a completed set. However, I definitely think we've got a majority of them. So I wanted to start with this binder. We've got Paul Burchill, The Miz. It's crazy to see these cards when these superstars just debuted and actually how much they've come on. So for example, The Miz, this is probably his debut year, 2006. And now he's one of the top superstars that's been there for 10 plus years. It's crazy. Paul London, one of my favourite underrated tag teams. Rey Mysterio, one of my absolute favourite. I think everyone loved Rey Mysterio growing up. He was just such the underdog. It was always nice to see him win. He got absolutely battered a lot of the time. But yeah, it was really good to see him finally win a lot of things. So that was cool. Scotty 2 Hotty, Snitsky, Super Crazy. I've got a lot of nostalgia for the WWE games as well, especially SmackDown vs. Raw. My first ever game was SmackDown vs. Raw 2006. The Great Khali. Me and my dad went to go see SmackDown, and it was the Great Khali versus the Undertaker versus Batista. And my dad always brings this up because Great Khali's walked to the ring. No, it's Rey Mysterio, Batista. I'm sure it's the Great Khali versus Batista and Rey Mysterio. I'm pretty sure. And obviously, the Great Khali is a mountain of a man. When you see him in the flesh, over 7 foot tall, and he just does this, it literally mimics like he's going to break somebody. I don't know. It's just really funny. It's a really funny story. But yeah, and then you've got ECW as well, because ECW was coming back into as like a third brand. So you got the Big Show, you got CM Punk. CM Punk, obviously, a lot of people's favourites nowadays for, the pipe bomb and other kind of reasons. The microphone pipe bomb, that is. Yeah, and we've got obviously some more ECW superstars as well from past. Some are around, some are not around now. RVD, I really enjoyed his. He's a high flyer, but it's just really, really cool. Just really dynamic moves and stuff like that. Just so different to anyone else in the ring at the time. I don't mean to go fast through this. I am trying to just enjoy the time. The ECW original Sabu passed away, I think, last year or early this year. So rest in peace. The Sandman as well. So these were the hardcore wrestlers. You know, you see a lot of blood in these shows and stuff like that. They'd be wearing the Crimson Mask. Tommy Dreamer, also on the ECW originals at the time. Like I say, I wasn't growing up with ECW, but I remember seeing ECW in WrestleMania 23. And then we move on to Raw. Okay, as much as I love SmackDown, I got to see it live as it happened, some of the episodes. I do have more of an affinity to Raw, Triple H, Ric Flair. Again, I do want to do a WWE or wrestling retrospect video while I was a fan. But when I first got to see a Raw show, Mum and Dad took me to go see Raw. I had a little bit of knowledge of wrestling. Mostly it comes from my granddad and watching, seeing little clips of WWE back then. But the one thing I remember from our trip to Raw, so obviously Ric Flair is the Nature Boy and he goes, woo! Which is amazing. So you got this whole crowd of people in the arena going, woo! We were parked up somewhere and it was a bit crazy traffic trying to get out. And people were like rolling down the windows and it's like really echoey car parks going, woo, woo! Yeah, it's just really funny. And yeah, my dad always brings up the woos now and again, which is cool. But yeah, so then you got Kenny, Umaga, Hulk Hogan. These have both passed away, which is kind of crazy. Weird. Mick Foley seems like a really nice guy. Bit of a screw loose, but yeah, seems like a nice guy. So yeah, it looks like we are missing some cards because there are spaces there. So I don't know who would have gone there. Triple H. There we go. There's my basically my three favourites from Raw. I love DX, the 2006 era. Probably not the best version of DX, but that is the one I grew up with. So tend to use the X signs a lot now and again, especially me and my dad. Kane, Jeff Hardy, John Cena. I'm wearing a John Cena shirt. I'm not John Cena's biggest fan, but actually what he's done for the business and all the charity work and the performer and the worker he is, you can't help but respect what he's actually done for the business. So that's awesome. Like I say, it's so weird looking back at these cards and looking at superstars that are, either not with us anymore, as in have moved on to different careers, and seeing their younger selves. Stone Cold Steve Austin. He wasn't really around when I was there, but I know that was one of my granddad's favourites. This is that, yeah. And then you've got obviously, it's called the Divas back then. The women's revolution really came a long way to enhancing female talent as well. But that is just the era. It was the Divas. It was the Divas sector. Oh, these two. I had a vendetta as a child against Edge and Randy Orton. They were the best heels because they physically made you mad, everything they were doing. Oh, I really do want to go back and do like a WWE retrospective and like go deeper into these feelings and thoughts I had. But then actually as you get older, you realise what fantastic workers they were, and they really did make you hate them, and that's part of their job, to make you hate them. You just want to see them get hurt, and yeah, it was just really good. So these are the body blow cards. So you'd actually scratch off these star points to see if you got a hit on them. So yeah, quite an advanced mechanic to the trading card. But then I guess when you've scratched them off, what do you do? How do you use the body blow cards? Brian Kendrick, Undertaker, Paul London, Edge again. So some of them had like reprints in these body blow version of cards. I don't think we've got them all. It doesn't look like we have. I think there's a space missing there. Yeah, they literally just say body blow cards. And obviously if they were the champion at the time, they would have a little label there to notify they were. And then, yeah. Oh, and then I think we have some legends at the back then. So Dusty Rhodes, Roddy Piper, Ted DiBiase, Dwight the Clown, Sergeant Slaughter, Junkyard Dog, and the British Bulldog. So yeah, that is so that's the first binder. Like I say, really cool cards to be fair. Like, I get nowadays the card printing has gone miles above. You've got these crazy hollow foils and shiny cards, I'd call them. They're just shiny cards. They look really cool, but yeah, this was what I was working with when I was a child. Opening up a pack of Topps cards for, I'll be honest with you, they'll £1.95 from the local newsagents. I can't remember how many you used to get, but you feel like you got your value for money, and they'll come to so there we go. We've got a bit of a checklist. We've got the Raw Superstars, SmackDown, ECW, the Legends. So there's a few we're missing, like we're missing Jake the Snake Roberts and things like that. So yeah, definitely not a complete binder. And here's the body blow cards that you saw highlighted as well, the ones we're scratching off. But yeah, that was the payback, I believe. Yeah, so this is the payback binder. Now we're going to move on. So this is just a taste of cards I used to collect back in the day. But now we're going to move on to my favourites. I have a lot of memories with this one. We are moving on. I think this one came after. This one I was way more involved in trying to collect everything with this one. This is WWE Face Off. I never had the binder. All I had was like stacks of cards in rubber bands. That's how you stored them. There was no such thing as a sleeve back then. These are my ones. These are the ones. So these are proper shiny cards. So we got Batista, Triple H, Ric Flair. So these were like the rarest version of the card. Rey Mysterio, The Rock, Shawn Micheals, Stone Cold, The Undertaker. So look at this page. They look so cool with like the gladiator kind of reef at the background. They just look really cool. That was all the cards in the set. As you can see, there is quite a lot. Quite a lot. Okay. Oh, so it's 164 in total. By placing 2 cards inside each pocket. Right, so there was just enough space if you put the cards back to back. But yeah, I just want to pull out a card and just show you what the backs look like as well. So if we do one of my favourites of all time, Shawn Micheals. Actually, that's kind of what it shows at the back. But yeah, so these are the cards. These are like the rarer cards with nice hollow foil. Well, just shiny basically. And then the back, similar to the payback cards, you would actually have a little bit of information about the wrestler. And again, it kind of works like there is a game mechanic to it. It's kind of a bit top trumps. The highest number would win. Extreme rating, finisher. Yeah, so it tells you the signature, the finisher, and it also puts a rating next to them so you can actually play the card game. But yeah, so yeah, Shawn Micheals, one of my favourites. My first ever match I ever saw in WWE was at my granddad's house. It was Shawn Micheals versus the Spirit Squad, 1-on-5 handicap match. And it's the one where they put his leg in the chair. I'll see if I can find a clip and just like put it on, if I can. But yeah, that got me invested. That storytelling of him being really hurt got me really invested. And obviously, moving on to what happened later with DX reuniting and stuff was amazing. Vince McMahon, he was down as a legend in this. Obviously, a bit of controversy nowadays, but you know, from what he did at the time. However, I like to look at people I like to try and look at the good things of a person rather than negative. So for what he built with the WWE is really impressive. And then you've got so we've had a look at the gold cards, and then you look to the next rarity. You've got these silver foil cards. Umaga, Chavo Guerrero, Jeff Hardy. So yeah, those were like the next step, not down I would say of rarity, but the next rarity I'd say. So these were like your rare cards. You know, you don't guarantee to get one of these rare cards in your set. John Cena's still a rare. Edge, so I would have put these two as legends, but you know, maybe they're just not there yet at the time, or just how they printed them out. Fit Finlay, wrestler from way back in the day, used to have Hornswoggle with him. Kane as well. Kane used to scare me a little bit, I'm not going to lie. Kane, because I used to be able to I used to go car boots with my granddad, and we used to find old VHS tapes of old pay-per-views, and some of the stuff Kane did back in 2003 really frightened me. Randy Orton, still in the WWE to this day. Probably one of the longest standing members. Yeah, and then so that comes to our end of our silver cards. And then you've got the Raw Superstars, and you've actually got announcers. JR, I think, is the voice of WWE. Him and Jerry Lawler, I think they were a fantastic commentary team. Really made you feel, really sold stories and, you know, the moves really well. Jonathan Coachman, JTG from Crime Time. Brian Kendrick and Paul London. Again, my favourite underrated tag team of all time. I loved it when it was on SmackDown, feuding with Eminem and Deuce and Domino. I just really loved it. It upset me when they broke apart. It really did. And then you've got, I thought these were Raw, but you've got Sandman on here as well. So maybe these aren't Raw Superstars. Maybe these are just a mix, but with the red background. Also, I think red is Raw and blue is SmackDown. Yeah, and then you've got the comics. So we've got obviously the hollow Randy Orton, but you've also got a basic card of him as well to play the game. Same with the other superstars, Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold Steve Austin. I'm loving going back through this. This is really nostalgic, and it's really sad that a lot of these wrestlers aren't with us anymore. They've passed away and stuff like that. And there he is, John Cena's on his retirement tour now. Not many dates left as of filming this video. I can't remember how many exactly, but it is interesting to see. yeah, all the work he's put in, and now he's decided he wants to retire. And fair play to him. He's had a fantastic career, and I hope he can make some, last amazing memories. You know what I mean? His legacy will live on forever. Carlito. You know what? I really, looking back, I really enjoyed going to the show. Watching, I feel so lucky to be able to watch Raw and SmackDown when I did, and the legends that and the feelings and the being around loads of wrestling fans, especially at a young age when yes, it's a performance, yes, it's fake, I get that, but you suspend your belief and you believe it. You believe all the moves because it's real pain. They're real athletes. They they really get hurt and stuff. So even though the storylines are fixed and who's winning and stuff like that, the memories and the nostalgia, you can just enjoy it. You can just enjoy the old pageantry of it all. Michael Cole, again, fantastic announcer on SmackDown team. Rey Mysterio. Yeah, I just feel really spoiled in my area of wrestling. We got to see so many legends like Ric Flair still wrestle and stuff like that. I think in 2008 he had his retirement match against Shawn Micheals. That was huge. The Great Khali, just the size of the man was crazy. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm just absolutely flabbergasted to go back for this. Jimmy Wang Yang, again, not with us at all. Very short run in the WWE, but I loved his moonsault he used to do. The Undertaker, his iconic gong, when that went off, the building went pure silence and darkness. It was fantastic. Deuce and Domino, hated these two for the Paul and the Brian Kendrick story, rivalry. This must be when Edge went over to SmackDown. I feel it must be. Yeah, I think it is, because him and obviously Brett Major, I thought his name was Kurt Hawkins. I got that wrong. Anyway, yeah, this must have been when Edge went over to SmackDown and took Undertaker's World Heavyweight title. He's just so good at getting what he wanted. He is the ultimate opportunist for a reason. I wished his end of WWE run could have been better. He had to early retire due to neck. And again, we've got the female cards as well. We've got the Divas on pink, I suppose. Michelle McCool is now married to The Undertaker. Just weird what changes in life, And I believe these would be the ECW team. Yeah, these are the ECW. You've got Taz, you've got Tommy Dreamer. And the thing is, the wrestlers all go through different gimmicks. You got he's known as Big Daddy V. I think it's Viscera. This was it. Like, wrestlers remake and reimagine themselves all the time for different gimmicks at a time. So it's kind of a snapshot of where this wrestler was in their career and what they were doing at that time. The Boogeyman, frightening. The Boogeyman eating worms and stuff like that. Thought it's really funny how he used to walk down to the ring and stuff like that, but he was quite frightening. Not as frightening as Kane, mind you, but pretty frightening. Icon Green, we've got some tag team cards. Now these, okay, so these were tag teams at the time. So this is the time, WrestleMania 23, when Triple H went off for his injury. So he wasn't with DX anymore. So Shawn Michaels and John Cena had a rivalry. But I do believe they were World Tag Team Champs at one point. I think they took it off Rated RKO. So that might be why they're a temporary tag team, but got made as a tag team card in this. Trevor Murdoch, Lance Cade. I'm sure one of these has passed away, sadly. Kane and the Boogeyman. That was never like a permanent tag team. That was always a temporary one, maybe. Because it's used to the Brothers of Destruction. So if I think of actual tag teams, I go down here, the Hardy Boys. Absolutely, Matt and Jeff Hardy. Definitely like a stable team. You got the Highlanders. When they did the Scott drop on the Spirit Squad, when I watched Raw, that was a memory. That was an amazing memory when they teamed up with the Legends and Ric Flair and they did the Scott drop. Was amazing. Yeah, there we are. The Major Brothers. These became the Edgeheads and joined Edge's faction on SmackDown. So there's a bit of a snapshot of long-term factions and then some short-term ones as well. The McMahons, Shane and Vince McMahon. Their rivalry DX really got me into wrestling, just can't lie. I've mentioned it too many times, Paul and Brian Kendrick. Their moves, the athleticism was amazing. Let's have a look. Deuce and Domino, Crime Time. Oh my gosh. There it is. That's my tag team, my favourite tag team, DX. Amazing. And here they are, the Brothers of Destruction, Kane and The Undertaker. There's Hornswoggle, Finley and Hornswoggle. So that's the tag team cards. Moving on now, we've got some Legends cards on like a golden background. We're starting off Ted DiBiase. Yeah, you've got some more lesser known ones. Paul Bearer, obviously the manager, The Undertaker and Kane. Yeah, you've got some more obscure ones. You've got Terry Funk as well. You've got some managers. Bobby the Brain Heenan. Brilliant. I think this is the last page, actually. And you got the Bushwhackers. Yeah, Dusty Rhodes, Jake the Snake, Jimmy Snuka. And obviously that would be what the back would look like. And actually, you have, that was it. On the card, you would actually have a checklist of all of the different, you just have a checklist so you can tick them off. I don't think I ticked any of these off. So like I say, I had all my cards in order, but in a rubber band. As a child, you don't really care about the quality of cards. I'm not here to grade cards. Who knew what that was back in the day? So I had them in a rubber band, and then one day, I think I was really... So me and my granddad used to go to car boots on Sundays, and one day I was sick. I couldn't go for some reason. But he still went regardless anyway, because that was just what he did. And he came back with his binder, and it had some cards that I was missing. So I spent the whole morning just going through all my cards, making sure I had put them all in the right spots and everything. Now, I did have some duplicates here. One story I remember, so me and 3 friends at secondary school, we were like the only wrestling fans and really brought into it. Everyone was just telling us fake, what are you watching that for? But we didn't care. We loved wrestling, that was it. And we used to collect these cards. I remember trading someone, a Matt Hardy, for a Rey Mysterio. Now, this isn't the exact Rey Mysterio. This must have been one my granddad got from the binder. But I got the Rey Mysterio, and I was so happy. Like, oh my God, I think I'm nearly getting, all these rare cards. And I put it in my bag. It was the first break before lunchtime, and I had a banana in my bag. And obviously, your bag gets thrown around and battered when you're at school. And I threw it around, and I went to go get my lunch out. Banana is split, and Rey Mysterio just got a face full of squished up banana. And I was so gutted that I traded a card to get this, and I was really happy. And I didn't look after it, and it just got squished up, creased, bent with banana all over it. I want to say it is still somewhere. Maybe it's somewhere in my parents' house. I don't know. Or maybe I threw it away. Probably I threw it away. Come on, it's nearly 20 years ago now. I think I should probably throw an old mouldy card away. But yeah, I always remember trading that card and getting banana all over it and just being really gutted. But hey, in the end, we did manage to, get the Rey Mysterio non-banana flavoured version. But yeah, it was just a really cool memory. And it's nice because I could trade, me and these 2 friends of mine, we could trade cards and try and help each other complete our sets. And it was nice. It was really nice. And these weren't expensive either. I think these were like £2 a pack, to be honest with you, which, looking back now, is nothing compared to today's prices. But yeah, it was just really nice. And I think this is where my collecting came from. Not to mention it's WWE, which I loved at the time. But yeah, I think I've always been a collector, and this is what's maybe solidified that for me. This video is going a lot longer than I thought it was ever going to be. But yeah, just one more little blast through the past at all these amazing cards. Just, yeah. If you've enjoyed this video, please let me know. And if you've got any memories of, your wrestling fan age, when did you watch wrestling? It could be WWE, it could be AEW, it could be TNA. What did you enjoy? Were you a wrestling fan back in the day? I've got this theory, like most boys, when they're younger, they either gravitate towards wrestling or they gravitate towards anime and Dragon Ball Z and like that fighting thing. Me, personally, it was definitely wrestling. And yeah, it was probably brought on a lot of my granddad. And then, being fortunate enough to go see Raw and SmackDown. But yeah, let me know in the comments if you've got any memories or stories like that. Please let me know. And if you'd like to see me do a bit more of a deeper dive into wrestling, a bit like a love letter to wrestling, why I love wrestling, a bit like how I love Sonic back in the day. Let me know if you'd like to see that. I think it's a video I'd enjoy making, something different. Don't worry, Pokemon card fans, there's more Pokemon card videos coming, especially Pokemon Pocket next month. So if you are into that, I haven't forgot about it. I still love Pokemon. I just wanted to do something different today. But I do have some videos coming up very soon. The ECW stars, CM Punk, like I say, it's just nice to see the wrestlers where they were back then, a snapshot in 2006 to 2009, and then what they went on to do. Some became world champions, some went to different shows, promotions, some gave up the wrestling boots altogether and started families. So it's just nice. It's really nice. And I think, watching wrestling, I wouldn't say it gives you life lessons, but it does make you see things in the world. You see the goodies, the baddies. Sometimes the good guys don't always win, but actually perseverance and never giving up. And, there is stuff to learn from wrestling. As cliche as it sounds, there is stuff to learn from wrestling. And, yeah, I'm proud to be a wrestling fan, no matter if people say it's fake or not. I don't care. I enjoy it, and that's that. So, Thank you very much for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this video, this little nostalgic trip back for some WWE cards. Please join me again in the future, and we will do some more interesting videos. Thank you very much. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.